Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. Liam Scales, we need to talk about Liam Scales this morning. Is Liam Scales having the season of his life at Celtic? Could Liam Scales be the player of the season for Celtic? That's the poll question that we're asking this morning on the channel. 69% straight off say yes, 29% say no. It's just changed. 72% say yes, 26% say no. Tell me in the comments if you think Scales is having the season of his life. He's certainly enjoying himself when it comes to playing for his national country. Last night, he had an assist. At this point, you see Liam Scales had lost his man towards the back post, came in from the sort of the edge of the 6-yard box, round the back of the Portuguese players, headed the ball back in, and it was first goal against the run of play. Completely against the run of play. And Ireland then went on to win 2-0 last night. It was a fantastic result for them, but more so it was a fantastic result. And there was quite a lot of Celtic connection there last night. Obviously Adam Ida took to the pitch late on. Johnny Kenny was an unused substitute and a player that all Celtic fans loved to hate, and basically chased the young lad away from the club. Yep, Mikey Johnson was also on the pitch for Ireland, trying to put a bit more pain into the Portuguese last night. You got to feel for Jota and Bernardo, because they're going to get it in the neck when the Irish boys return to training next week, aren't they? Scalesy and Johnny Kenny are going to walk in with a swagger. Paulo Bernardo will be like, no lo sé. That's Spanish, it's not Portuguese. And then Jota, well, we don't even know where he is. He's obviously back in the country, but he's nowhere near the training pitch, that's for sure. Right, let's jump into some comments this morning. I think that Liam Scales is having an interesting season for Celtic. I think that come the end of the season, he could potentially be player of the season for Celtic. The player that came in from Shamrock Rovers for around about 500 grand in 2021 was sent out to Aberdeen. We all know the story. It didn't look as if he was going to be good enough for Celtic. He scored 2 goals this season. I think he's had around about 3 assists, if I'm right. A couple of good goals from headers, corners. He's proven his worth. 500 grand, it's not to be shied at for a player, especially when you've got £6 million that we paid for Cameron Carter-Vickers, who, when you look at it from that perspective, £6 million paid for Cameron Carter-Vickers has been a complete disaster compared to Liam Scales. Liam Scales coming in, he's on approximately 15 grand a week at Celtic. His contract expires in 2028. He's becoming a bit of a Christopher Ayer type player for us. And my only fear is if Celtic don't tie him down on a better deal, 15 grand a week, he could walk down south. He could walk down, and we know he has his issues with his shirt pulling and stuff in Europe and in the Scottish game, gives away free kicks. He was booked last night. He does have that in his game, but would you change him? Would you change Liam Scales? Because right now he is the best centre-back that we have. Now people will say, well, that's how far the club have came down and how far we've regressed. But when you look at it, he is the best defender that we have at the club at the moment, in my opinion. A lot of players would have folded at Celtic with the pressure that Scales has been in. Do you know? And I think that going forward, last season he got a lot of stick, and rightly so. This year, I think that he's got the potential. I really think he's got the potential to be player of the season. Mr. Consistency for Celtic this season. Do you think he could be Scales as a potential future captain? No. Nah, I don't think he's captain material. I don't think that he'll be at Celtic long enough or in Scotland long enough. My own personal thoughts. I think that there will come a time where a manager, whoever, will come in and want to improve the squad and think that they can bring in somebody better than Scales. And there'll come a time that Scales will ultimately want to go and test himself. Do you know, there will come a time that he will want to test himself as a player. I mean, he's only played in Ireland and then at Celtic. He's done everything. When you look at it from a football perspective, he's won 3 league championships in Scotland. He's won 1 Scottish Cup. He's won 2 League Cups, and that's it, isn't it? Born in 1998. He's not getting any younger. He isn't getting any younger, and I think that there will come a time. He won 2 titles with Shamrock Rovers as well, similar to what Johnny Kenny did, I think. But he will want to try himself at the top level. I mean, even if it's just going down to England. I mean, he will. There will come a time where, unless Celtic were to give him a massive wage increase, which you can't see Celtic doing anytime soon, you will lose Liam Scales, because he's not going to stay at Celtic. When you look at the likes of James Forrest and everyone, and the money that they've made out of Celtic over the years, and Callum McGregor, they're all financially, 15 grand a week's fucking a shitload of money. I mean, there's people that don't earn that in a bloody year in Scotland, and that's the reality. It's a sad reality. I mean, he's just a football player. He's on 15 grand a week. Not to be shy of that, it's fantastic monthly wage that he's on. But when it comes to footballer and a football player, he'll see that Adam Ida left Celtic and went for 40 grand a week. And it's always a worry when a player has a successful season at Celtic, and you've got to say Scales will have done himself no harm. And we know that he isn't the best player, but money talks in football. Money talks, and I think that we'll do well to hold on to him for another 2 or 3 years. His contract's up in 2028. Just double check. Yeah, it's 2028. His contract's up, so I think he has the potential. Anyway, well, let's see what they're saying in the poll. The poll is at 68%. Could Liam Scales be Celtic Player of the Season? 69% against 31%. Let's jump into the comment section and see what you're saying to it this morning when it comes to it. Scales has been solid for us, to be fair. It has been. And that won't go unnoticed. And it wouldn't take, when you look at if Celtic bought Cameron Carter-Vickers for $6 million, people will look at that from the outside and they'll go, do you know what? You'll get Scales for a couple of million. It's not a lot of money. And all it takes is someone to test the mettle of Celtic come this summer, say. And, and Scales might just go, do you know what? I've done everything in Scottish football. Celtic aren't going to get in the Champions League again. I've won a shitload of trophies. It's been a fantastic journey. Do you know what? I'm going to go and try something. And fair play to him. There's nobody at Celtic, not one Celtic fan, should begrudge Liam Scales a move in the future for more money, because the shit that he's put up with Celtic, not only from the fans but the club himself, pumping him away up to Aberdeen. You're not good enough for Celtic, we'll put you on loan to Aberdeen. Coming back that summer thinking it's not looking like, Celtic go out and spend £7 million on 2 defenders, and it's looking like Scales is going to go back to Aberdeen. He's thinking, fuck him, my Celtic career's done. He's took it on the chin. He knows football. He's not a bitter guy. He just takes it on the chin. He's like, right, looks like I'm going back to Aberdeen. Cameron Carter-Vickers gets injured again. And Scales is going nowhere. he's thrown in to play in the position that Cameron Carter-Vickers plays, whilst Gustav Lagerbielke is his sidekick. And you've got to say, at that point, Lagerbielke and Liam Scales did okay. They did okay as a pairing. It's funny how things change. Lagerbielke was chased out of the club. Liam Scales has went on to be... And Lagerbielke was brought in for good money. 4 times, 4, 5, 6 times the amount that Liam Scales was brought in for. So it is a funny old going. So when it does happen, I don't think that anybody can begrudge him the fact that, he is a great servant for the club, and it was great to see the picture of Scales sitting beside his teammate last night. Massive for Johnny Kenny. I mean, let's not belittle the fact that Johnny Kenny's made the Ireland squad. Adam Ida got the nod before him last night, and the two of them must be sitting there thinking to themselves, fuck me, just a few years ago we're at Shamrock Rovers. Furthest thing for your mind is getting picked for the national squad. Do you know what I mean? But it just shows you that hard work, dedication, and believing, no matter what people say, no matter how people try and bring you down in life, is just keep working away and just keep doing it. And those are two guys right there that deserve every single bit of credit that they're due. Anyway, let's jump back into the comments. Scales has been third. Look what the rest of the players that are on. I believe he does deserve a pay rise. I'm surprised that, he's got 2 years left at the end of this contract. If Celtic, being Celtic, they'll allow it to go to the very last season. But if I were in charge of Celtic this season, or if I'm the new manager that comes in, because nothing can go, it's a manager that now has to say he deserves a pay rise. But if you're Martin O'Neill at Celtic right now, and you're looking at the contract situation with Scales, and you're looking at how much he's on, Martin O'Neill's going to be going, right, come on here, Celtic. You need to give him a bit of a wage rise, because if not, you know what's going to happen. When he gets to the end of this season, we'll be in 2026. He's got 2 seasons left. Just saying. 2 seasons left after that. Shows you how poor a team is for Scales to be a top player. Nothing against Scales, but our midfield or forwards should be the ones that entertain and not the guy holding the defence together. Oof. There are many defenders at Celtic over the years that have outshone every single player in the team. And I think that's a little bit disrespectful to Scales and all the defenders that have outshone every player in front of them. You could go even way back to Billy McNeil as Celtic captain, outshining players. But never mind. Everyone has their own opinion. I think Tenecti could be the player of the season if Tenecti stays fit. If he does stay fit, there is a worry that he does have that thigh strain, and my worry is that if when you get player of the season, a lot of it comes down to what the other players think is consistency, and Liam Scales has had that consistency. Tenecti, there's not many times that Scales gets taken off the pitch. Do you know? So you have to look at everything. You can't just look at the flair and the goals and what they've brought to. Do you know that a lot of people say, well, that's the most important, but for consistency right throughout the season, chipping in with a few goals from as a defender, assists as a defender. I don't know. I just think that there's a little bit there. I know what you're saying about Tenecti, and he does have that flair player about him, but my worry is that he gets taken off in games too many times. And when you look at it come the end of the season, you look at most improved player, most consistent player, and Scales has got to be right up there. Scales is the best player for us. He's most consistent. Also, never injured. Yes, he does struggle in Europe. Looks clumsy at times. Playing right-footed, but he's far better than Vickers so far. Good comment. I don't think his Scales as much injured as CCV. No, he's definitely not. I can't think of a time that Scales has been injured. On balance, Scales needs recalibrated sometimes, but sometimes with the odd goal and adds assist. He played fantastic for Ireland last night. He played he played in the back of a back five for Ireland last night. He played on the left. Played on the left back position. Position that we've had a bit of trouble with now and again. And he played it fantastic, I've got to say. He played it... It was weird watching Scales last night because he played far better for Ireland than he does for Celtic. It seems that when he was in the Aviva Stadium, he upped his game. Liam Scales has got that in him, and I think that's what's fantastic about Scales as a player. Do you know, every gauntlet that's been thrown down at him, he's just went, hold my Guinness, I'll show you. Do you know what I mean? He'd be looking over at his old man. He's like, I'll show him that. Celtic need a world-class player to make the team better, said Ian. Good for Liam Scales. He's shown his mettle. He has that. We need someone in midfield that can pick out a defence splitting pass. Yeah, we do. Because the players that we've got there right now, not really doing that. They're not really doing that. Roger says that Scales was the biggest surprise of his career. Scales is no joke. Wins everything in the box. Do you rate Scales' potential as future captain? No. Nah. I don't think that... my honest thought is if Celtic are only paying him 15 grand a week, there's no way Scales is going to hang around at Celtic forever. His agent will be like, go on lads, just keep going, and we can double your wages. And it's like, do you stay at Celtic to try and be potential captain and be on 20 odd grand a week, or do you look after yourself? Football's a funny old game. It's a short term career. You know, when you look at, I mean, a lot of people are talking about, someone talking about flair players, and it should be the flair player that's gets player of the season. George Cadet, flair player, goals, everything. He's a builder. He buys houses in Portugal and he reforms them, and he went through a crazy time, I believe, and he went off the rails and all the rest of it. But now he just buys houses, does them up and sells them on. Complete different lifestyle. Don't know, his football in his mind now is a lifetime ago. It's like a different person. Don't know, it's memories. And that's how, I mean, footballers these days have got the chance to go out and earn the type of money that has maybe never been in the family before. Do you know, to be the first person within their family to make life-changing amounts of cash, and fair play to them. Do you know, fair play to them. So, and it is just a short career. And Liam Scales will be getting to that age where they're going, do you know what, I've enjoyed my time at Celtic, but unless Celtic want to pay... Look, we had a player that came through from Kilmarnock that everyone didn't deem good enough to be at Celtic, and Taylor wasn't getting the money that he wanted from Celtic, and he went, do you know what, I'm going to try a different lifestyle, I'm going to try a different football, and I'm going to get paid more money for it. Simple. You've got to do it. CCV's not been a disaster this season, maybe a bit of loss, but nowhere near a disaster. His injury report shops. He's injured every single season. Cameron Carter-Vickers has not had one complete season since he's been at Celtic. For the $6 million that we paid for Cameron Carter-Vickers versus the 500 that were paid, 500 grand that we paid for Liam Scales, that is value for money. He's never been injured, never has a bad word to say, does his stuff, and when he's up against it, he performs to a higher level. Tell me when Cameron Carter-Vickers has performed to a higher level than expected. Show me when Cameron Carter-Vickers has improved as a player. Show me games that Cameron Carter-Vickers has stood out more than what he should have as a player, a £6 million player that we bought him for. There's no comparison at all. Cameron Carter-Vickers' time at Celtic will be remembered as being injury-laden. And that's fact. That's fact. He's never had one full season at Celtic. Do you know? So it is what it is. Sometimes you get lucky when you buy a player and they never have any injuries. Cameron Carter-Vickers and his big toes been horrendous. Good squad player, but too many poor traits, leading to Scales has been so far. CCV is done. It's been for a while. Scales is here for life. If he's wanted, he won't want to go anywhere else. I don't think so. Celtic will never pay him 40 grand a week. He can go down to the English Championship and get 40 grand a week like that. And his agent will know that. Do you know, when you look at that guy that we brought up that was Irish, and he was absolutely rank rotten. Absolutely rank rotten in defence. And he was on about 60 grand a week. It doesn't go unnoticed by the players. Do you know what other players are on? They talk. Players talk to each other. Do you know they're sitting in the dugout at international games, and they'll be sitting in the hotel. And I'm like, much are you getting down there? Fucking how much? Really? Fuck off. I'm on 15 grand a week at Celtic. What? 15 grand a week? Fuck that shit, mate. Fuck that shit. That's the way that it goes. There's no loyalties. I mean, because he's Irish and because he bleeds green, there's no loyalties when it comes down to protecting your family and being financially secure for pretty much the rest of your life. CZF is inept, now injured. That's disastrous. It is that. Top level, no chance. Top level? Full spine of the team needs a refresh. Full spine of the team needs a refresh. Does it? Does it need a refresh? Do we need to get rid of... Here's one then. When we get rid of Callum McGregor, who in the club is... When we're getting to the end of the career with Brownie, I think we all knew that Callum McGregor would be the next captain. I'm not saying that he's as good a player as Brownie, not a chance. I think Brownie had but Callum McGregor gives you something different, something a lot different. You don't stay at Celtic all your career if you're not a good player. And when Callum McGregor was out there was a big call for Callum McGregor last season. Massive call. Drop Callum McGregor. He's shite. He's done. He's past it. Everything. And then when he was out injured, the cries were, oh, fuck, we miss Callum, don't we? We miss Calmac. And then when he was brought back in, everyone was like, alright, fair enough. Who replaces Callum McGregor? If you're talking about replacing the spine of the team, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Liam Scales, Callum McGregor, striker. Right down the middle. Yes, we need a striker. We've needed a striker since last January. We need a replacement for Cameron Carter-Vickers, in my opinion. We need a massive replacement for Cameron Carter-Vickers because the fact that he's injured every single season is not consistent of top-level football players that reach the heights of their game. And when you always want a back two, a solid back two at the club. And maybe get rid of Liam Scales. Maybe this is the season, this is the summer. With 2 years left on his contract, a new manager comes in next week. He says, I want a big, beefy, Bobo Baldy type defenders. Cameron Carter-Vickers is too injured. Do you know, he goes, right, I want to go out and get these two defenders. Liam Scales goes, do you know what? I'm not really in for hanging about. Celtic go, Scalesy, we've got 2 years left on your contract. Do you know there's an offer there for you? Do you want to look? Yeah, fuck it. And you wouldn't blame us. Absolutely pissing down outside. But anyway, let's be honest, sell half the players on the books, just not good enough. Ooh, that's controversial. That is controversial. Half the players. Cheers, Dougie. That's controversial. Sell half the players on the books, just not good enough. Richard, come back and tell me which ones. Morning. I just jumped there. Baz, there's not really much that can go against you as far as players, nothing special. After the way that young Scales been bounced around by Celtic, the boy hung in, he took the heat. We all took the shite. He always stood up, he deserves it. He does, he deserves the plaudits. And that's why I'm thinking that, does he have is there a possibility that Scales could be in the running for player of the season? We're coming up to the halfway point of the season. Consistency, he's up there. Chipping in with goals, chipping in with assists, ticking all the right boxes. Game time. You've got to say he is right up there so far. If player of the season was called right now, I think Scales would be right up there. We'll wait and see at the end of the season. I called it out that when I said that Scales would be the most improved player the season that he was told that he's not going to Aberdeen. He'd almost packed his bag. He'd almost done a Dyson, cleared the locker. He didn't clear it for 4 days like Dyson though. But I think that attitude goes a long way. And scouts and coaches from other teams watching Scales, watching that assist for Ireland last night, watching the way he's played in the Champions League, he's played in Europa, he's played at high levels. He can't be the bad player. How much is he on? Fuck me. How much would it take us to get him? Put a bid in. Put a cheeky bid in. And 4 or 5 million, that would really test Celtic. That would test Celtic's mettle. If there was an offer to come in for 5 million for Liam Scales this summer, with 2 seasons left on his contract, I think that Celtic would be very, very tempted. And I think Liam Scales would be. I think Scales would be tempted, personally. But you never know. You never say never in football. Scales is worth the money as trusty in CCV. It's all about 5 million. Good, solid players. Not the ability to step up to the next level. Do you think so? Is Adam Ida worthy of 40 grand a week then? Do you know, with all the hurrah yesterday within the media about Scottish football and Celtic being a backwater and Celtic not being a top club, when you look at the money that is on offer to players in the Championship, for instance, and even abroad now, do you know there's more money abroad than what you can get in Scottish football. Make Scales captain after Calmac hangs up his boots. Cameron Carter-Vickers is the assistant the second in command, isn't he? So right now, it would be an interesting one for that to happen. I'm hoping Kenny gets player of the season, but I still think it'll be Tenecti. That'll be an interesting one because obviously Johnny Kenny didn't get his introduction to international football last night, but it was good that he was there. Good that he was there and that he was on the bench. Do you know, he would have learned from that. And especially watching some of these Portuguese players up front. And like I say, it's all about bragging rights. It's all about coming back into training next week. And Paulo Bernardo will be like, "Oh, Paulo!" Hey. And there'll be the bit of banter that will go on with that. Martin O'Neill not bothered about contracts of the players as interim. Well, let's hope that he gets the interim. Tenecti not as good as we first thought. novelty is over. Ooh. If that is if Tenecti novelty is over, what does it say about Michelangelo Balakwisha, who we've chased for 2 years and we've brought in, and he's absolute mince. Look at Billy McNeil and Paul Elliott. Yep, a lot better than some players. 10 Ekes has only been here a fortnight, still a youngster with plenty to learn. Stop calling him 10 Ekes. Lanky's got a lot to answer for. Scales got an assist last night. Also seems to prefer playing with Trusty, vice versa. It's true. It's true. Balance. Way. Are he recalibrated? What's up, Danny? Sounds like you're having a stroke. Big Adam's going to score 20 goals. Adam, he does not at Celtic anymore, so I don't care. Once they've gone, they've gone. That's it. Don't know. It's like an ex. You don't go and look them up. Just fucking let them play wherever. They're gone. Leave them. Scale did well last night. Good for him. Yeah, he did that. Sorry, I'm going to jump through the comments. How many are out on loan from Celtic? The players that are out on loan, there's not as many this year. Last year we had around about 12 players out on loan. This year, the players that are out on loan, there is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 5 players out on loan. Shows you how bad the squad is, or how small the squad is, because there was a lot of B team players, and it just shows you that we've lost quite a lot of players. Rocky's out on loan, Stephen Welsh is out on loan, Palmer's out on loan, and Odom Ohm's out on loan, and Adam Montgomery. Adam Montgomery is the only young player that is out on loan from Celtic. So there's not a big pool of players that we could call on. You know, all the players that were out on loan last season have now left the club. Rocky out on loan. I think he'll be. I don't know if I think there's an option to buy with that on. Lewis Palmer, there's a £3.5 million option to buy, but there is doubt that they want to pay the £3.5 million. Celtic trying to recoup the money that they paid. Stephen Welsh, Motherwell, I think his days are done at Celtic. He wants to go out and play football. He doesn't want to sit on the bench, and I think that Stephen Welsh he's at the stage of he's came through the ranks at Celtic. I mean, Stephen Welsh has won things. He's won titles. He's won cups and everything. Do you know, he's been at Celtic a while, and he's at the stage of his career where he just wants to play football. Do you know, it's no longer about being at Celtic. And the stick that he's had, I mean, there's a player that came on for Ireland last night that left Celtic also because of the stick that he was getting as a player. Don't know. Last manager wanted to keep him, but he was like, nah, I want to go and play football when I'm sick of the stick that I get from Celtic fans. Adam Montgomery, he's injured at Livingston. He's out for a couple of months at Livingston. I don't think that he's going to make it at Celtic. I think that if he had any chance of making it at Celtic, Celtic would have kept him in and around the club. But we didn't have a manager at that time who believes in youth. I just hope that the next manager that does come into the club really does give youth a chance, because when they don't give youth a chance, we've seen so many players that have the potential to become good players, and it is all about potential. But rather than use the potential that we've got within our own club, put them in. If they're not good enough, fine. At least we've tried it and it's not cost us a penny. Rather than going out and look at the money that we've wasted over the years in buying potential. The only one that really, really, really paid off was Matt O'Reilly. We brought in Matt O'Reilly because of his potential and because there was a clause in his contract for 1.5 million. And it was a bargain. And look what we sold him for. There's not many players that if you look at the transfer windows since Ange Postecoglou came in, he didn't rate youth players at Celtic. He didn't want to give them a chance. Brendan Rodgers, we've had 4 years 4 seasons up until before this season that has been lost to Celtic bringing in players and giving them a chance. And that is why the B team is now decimated. The B team will not produce anything for the first team for the foreseeable future. And that's devastating. And that comes down to those two managers. Now, for all the good, people saying, I want Ange Postecoglou back. If you're a youth player at Celtic and you're seeing Ange Postecoglou coming back and you're like, just go and find me another club just now. Because there's no pathway whatsoever. And that's what needs to change at Celtic. And I hope that when the next manager comes in, he is someone that believes in youth and giving youth a chance. Hence the reason McKenna is my first choice for Celtic manager. But let's get on to the Celtic manager. Will Celtic pay the money for McKenna? I doubt it. Will they pay the money for Wilfred Nancy? Now, there's noises going around late last night that Celtic are going to have to pay around about $4 million for Wilfred Nancy. That's crazy. But then again, get the Ireland manager in. Yeah, this is true. But then again, do you want a manager from America that's an unknown and he's French? But he must have something going for him, surely. Or do you want a manager in McKenna who got relegated from the Premier League? That's a sad situation where we're at. And the reality of it, you don't know. Anyway, there's enough manager talk. My brother used to take me the whole day back to the jungle, Harry beat it. Oh, the jungle was the place. It's not the same now, even with the standing section. No, it's not. The standing section's a poor man's jungle, isn't it? Really. Nothing against the standing section. I think it's a great thing to have at Celtic, but the Celtic fan base have changed as well. Celtic fans base is way changed. Their fly players right away: Rio Hatate, Bernardo, Inamura, Balikwisha, Yang, and Shin Yamada. But they should be gone, Richard. Not sure. Right, anyway, what time is it? I've been on for 37 minutes this morning. Let's finish up the poll. There's only been 156 votes. It's been another quiet morning. It's quiet morning. That's international football. Folk just turn off, man. But anyway, there's been 156 votes. 47% say yes. Could Scales be player of the season? 26% say no. Going to end that poll. Thank you to everyone who voted this morning. That's the poll done and dusted. Oh, don't worry, there's only a week to go till the AGM. Yes, a week today is the AGM at Celtic. They're not good enough, Richard. Yeah, they are not good enough. I mean, I don't know what Shin Yamada, Inamura, and Bernardo. I don't know about Bernardo with that one, mate. Bernardo's never been given a chance for a season, and all this, you're thinking, why? He would have thought when Matt O'Reilly left, Paulo Bernardo must have been thinking, right, I'm stepping into Bernardo's shoes, into Matt O'Reilly's shoes. When Aaron Moy left, there was that ready replacement. He got his chance. He improved, sold on. Didn't happen with Paulo. When Matt O'Reilly left the club, Paulo Bernardo must have been thinking, yes, that's me getting my chance, but it's never happened like that. Why? Because of the last manager. Maybe another manager will come in and go, poof, Paulo, where have you been hiding? Why have you not been getting played? You never know. Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans. Yes, before we go, an hour today, a week today even, is the Celtic AGM. Will there be a new Celtic manager in before the AGM next week? Hold on, it's going to be some ride. On that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.